Yeah, but for a short period of time. If we really try to understand the reasoning, we have to go back to when I'm 14 and I'm making some snowboards in my garage and I sell some bespoke. And I find that extraordinary. And I feel that's so cool. I would love to do that as a job. But I'm very young. So having the feeling I should have my company and make product for people. Okay? That's the summary of it. Then I do my studies. I start working with big groups, go back to school in an even better school, continue the corporate life of a manager and director in good businesses. And I lose my job once, second time, third time, in a very short period of time. That was a complete reset. And when I was looking for a job after this complete reset, I realized that I was having opportunities in jobs, but they were always failing at the end. Okay, I was always number two. You don't hire two. And then I could become a consultant, but I wasn't excited by that prospect. And then I had 7 different entrepreneurial ideas. And one of the 7 was Czapek. Well, that one was very promising, very exciting. And I was coming from the watches that I just joined after working with different B2C and more luxury products. So I was very in line with the evolution of what I liked and learned. I networked because I was looking for a job. Someone working at AP put me in contact with Harry, who was looking for a partner, and together I bring in a third partner, Sebastian, as a watchmaker, and we start the venture with $10,000, 10,000 Swiss francs exactly, in the account. Harry found it first. Harry found the story of Czapek and of Czapek and Company, and he re-established the brand with a friend of his father who passed away, and that's when we started working together because he was looking for a new partner, and well, this new partner was finally me. Because it was free on the market. It was not a registered name. It was a sleeping beauty and a sleeping name, and that's how we re-registered as a name, and made a project to revive the company based on the history of Czapek. So it's really a revival. Patrick here, his last name is Czapek also, and he does not know, because the World War II has destroyed a lot of archives, so he couldn't trace back to François Czapek, but he's one of the Czapek family, and so there is a connection through because Patrick Czapek he's a shareholder, so and now he's working for the company too, so he's both shareholder and friend. The idea was to make a crowdfunding equity campaign. So the idea was to say to everyone, there is a new venture. It's about watches, autorology, precisely. And if you want to join as a shareholder, you're more than welcome. Okay? So, of course, it's a very risky project. And of course, it makes a selection of people who are either fan of entrepreneurial projects or fan of watches. So our shareholders were mainly watch lovers. The vast majority, maybe 90% of them.
Do
And the 10, yeah. You have to meet them if you want and you have to meet them to convince them.
Yes.
They need to understand. You don't convince people actually. You meet them, and they decide to have trust in you or not. No, it's from now. It looks that it was easy, but it was not at all easy at that time. It took a lot of effort and a lot of work to convince. But then, very quickly the company it reached some milestones.
Yep.
So if you communicate well, people see, you tell them, and then we're going to go in that direction.
Yep.
And suddenly there is one milestone that says, yeah,
okay,
the company has done that now. And then you do another one. And the more you communicate, you explain what are your difficulties, your challenge, and your milestones, the more people feel like, yeah, it's great, because at the end, everybody knows that you will have difficulties. So it actually makes more sense when you say, look, we have run into all these difficulties, but we are at that point now. We won the Grand Prix de l'Horlogerie in Geneva. That was a very big milestone for us.
Of course.
We launched the second collection, the Place Vendôme, that you have seen. Immediately, a year after the first one. That was also for everyone like, wow, these guys are going for it heavy. Then we launched a chronograph, and for everyone it was also a surprise because it takes many years to have a chronograph being made, being conceived. So that one was coming from Baucher. The first three were made by our partners. So Chronode, the first two, and Vaucher was the third one.
Okay, very nice.
The fourth one was made by Mother Glassworks because it's an hourglass. So that was the fourth one. A lot of people don't like the number 4. And then the fifth one is the Antarctic. And this one is not only proprietary, as were the first two, but also it is in-house. We do all the components that we assemble. Manufacture. Atelier. It was an 80 square meter atelier in Le Locle. Now it's a nice little manufacture of 335 square meter. And tomorrow it will be an even nicer manufacture of 460 square meter or more, because we are going to get, we are buying all the machines to now produce in-house our components too. We don't want to bypass our partners. We're talking about double sourcing, but we're also talking about independence. We're also talking about freedom, about flexibility, about speed, about getting over this stock shortage. Today, we have 200 of that movement waiting in the manufacturer. We cannot case them because we have no cases. This is terrible. We need to take the lead on that and retake, the capacity to decide instead of being handcuffed. And we see that the only way to get that freedom is to build our own freedom. And now that we have thousands of watches in waiting lists, we have the capacity when we produce to finance the machine. So it's now the good time to do it. Today we are 200 shareholders. We did 6 fundraise. And every time there is a sale of shares, all the shares are bought by remaining shareholders.
Okay, so
in a ratio of 1:5. So 5 more requests than offer. Okay, 5 times more requests than offer. So there is an appetite that is huge for getting shares of the company. At the same time, if we can finance today, if we can finance everything with the bank, it's better. So we finance with the bank and the clients. I'm not a designer at all, but I am at the heart of the product. That means I do the briefing, and then I interact with the designer, or the designers, because now we were two only before, and now we have one person in-house as an intern, and 2 days a week, and then he has someone to help him also. So we are now 4 around the table, 3 designers and myself, and my role is to really comment, give input, feedback, modifications, ideas of, can we try that and that and that, until we get to the point where we say, this is beautiful. Vertical symmetry. You think about the Valeria, what is the name? The man who is like this, with the two. Sorry? Vitruvian. Okay? No, actually it's made by another guy before. And it was retaken by him and made nicer by him. And he built a few rules out of that. Okay? So he brought the thing, and he never pretended to have invented it. So that's Leonard. To not pretend to take the job of someone else. And so that's a very important element in our design language. And we do have a look at the golden number and have these other elements of proportion, okay, which are very important. We like to mix chaos and harmony. Okay, this is what I call the spice on the beauty. Okay, so what is beauty? Beauty is made. That's not me. That's Charles Baudelaire in 1850, same period as Czapek. Beauty is made of one element that is intemporal, that we all understand, that we all can share. It can be the beauty of a flower, a beauty of a woman, a beauty of something that we know and we understand it's beautiful. And then on that, you need a second element to create the emotion. And this element is ephemeral. And this is the combination of the ephemeral, of that element that is hard to digest, that surprises you, that creates the goosebumps. Okay? This is created by a surprise. If you look at something classic, very classic, it's a bit boring. Why? Because you've seen it too much. You understand? You need, and especially for us, because we have a design language that is close to, that is more classic than extravagant. Okay? If we do a balance between the two. And in that design language of classic against extravagant, if we were really classic, we would be boring. But the more you look to a Czapek watch, the closer you get, because you're like, oh, but how did you do that? And even every time you get closer, you're like, oh, but that's very nice, you know? And this is really what makes beauty in the end. This combination of something that is going to surprise you, and at the beginning you don't even know if you like it or not, okay? And something that is pleasing, that talks to you, you know? And this is really the combination that will make that suddenly something stands out. Yeah, my wife has studied art. We are a lot. Art is very important. Art has always been very important for the three of us. Harry was working as an art consultant. Sebastian started painting when he was not watchmaking, and I've always loved and always considered that because I was not good enough with my hands, I had to be just a lover and not an artist. But and I think we can find everywhere influences. It's all a matter of being open, curious, and sensitive. So we're now in the growth phase. which means we are much more solid than before,
Yeah.
but we have to be very careful of not making an acceleration that could be like a boomerang and kill us
Yeah.
by trying to grow too fast. So it's a lot about finding the right pace for the growth. We know where we want to be. We want to make about 3,000 watches a year. 2 years ago, 1 year and a half ago, we were doing 150 watches a year. That's why we're talking about numbers that are more in thousands than hundreds. But that's also why we're talking about thousands and not tens of thousands. Because we believe that to enter into the world of that level of haute horlogerie, but at a price that is between 20 and 200,000, we talk about thousands of people every year, not tens of thousands, but certainly more than hundreds. Okay? So part of our strategy is also echoing the market. We listen a lot to people and we define our route to the stars together with the people that we listen to. We have been since the beginning, because we were crowdfunded, we have been very open to people, very open to listening, correcting, accepting, making bespoke pieces like he was doing.
Also, you do that as well.
Yeah. We used to personalize 80% of our watches. Yeah. That's what when we were doing 150 watches, you could be sure that 100 to 120 of them were personalized. Then now that we grow, we still have personalized watches,
Yes.
but they remain into the 100 number, you see. So the percentage has decreased, but we love it. Now our love for it has not decreased. Actually, what has increased is the number of people willing to have a bespoke piece. So in Czapek, we have 3 levels: personalized, customized, bespoke. Personalized, we do a special engraving, we do a special hand, we modify one aspect of the dial, but something light, okay? Something that can be done in 1 or 2 months. Customized, then we go deeper into the modification, but we still work from something existing. And then bespoke means we're gonna create maybe a dial completely from scratch. It's gonna be a one piece, and maybe it's gonna take a year. We usually use an existing movement. Sometimes we also modify a bit the movement, but slightly, not on the functions. And then we sometimes engrave the case in a different way, so more profound, more modifications. And most of the time, we do completely new dial. It's mostly on the dial and the hands. USA and Japan, but they have a very, it's because these 2 countries have a very strong watchmaking culture. And when they look at our watches, they see and they can tell without a person like me explaining. Now, they do talk to me and they do ask me more questions. And I'm very happy to answer these questions. But they have the knowledge to appreciate.
Okay.
And when they look at a watch like this, or maybe not this one, which is a prototype, this one, when they look at a watch like this, they can tell why this is unique. Because they know that no one before in the sports category ever made such a chiseled movement, so many bridges, like an old pocket watch.
Yes.
But you see that it's a very distant inspiration from the old pocket watch that we have modernized completely. And that's really the idea. We do have a vision, okay, very clear on where we want to go. And I explained it to you by making people discover haute horlogerie, but also reinventing haute horlogerie for this group. Okay, so coming on the market with new things that have never been done, especially for people who are in the discovery stage. Okay, and but that vision that is a long term is maybe a road that goes like that,
Yes,
and we
you
accept
have
it
to- Yeah. 'Cause you
as
have to
long
try and try.
as we go in that direction.